The barn at night should be peaceful. Soft rustles, gentle nickers, the comforting sound of horses breathing quietly in their stalls. It's a time when the world slows down, and you can almost feel the heartbeat of the barn itself, steady and calm. But tonight, something is wrong. The silence is heavy, almost suffocating, and then it's shattered by a sudden alarming thud echoing through the darkness. It's the kind of sound that makes your heart skip a beat. Instinct takes over. You rush out, heart pounding in your chest, fumbling for the light switch as you try to make sense of what's happening. The barn, once a sanctuary, now feels unfamiliar and threatening. Your usually calm gelding is in agony, wide-eyed, sweating, flanks heaving with every breath. His body is tense, muscles quivering, nostrils flared as he struggles to cope with the pain. He throws himself to the ground, rolling and kicking, desperate to escape the pain inside him. The straw flies, hooves thud against the walls, and you realize this is no ordinary restlessness. This isn't just discomfort, it's a life-or-death struggle unfolding before your eyes. The fear in his eyes is unmistakable, and you feel utterly helpless. He paws at the ground, bites at his side, and looks at you with pleading eyes, silently begging for relief. Every movement is a cry for help. This is colic, a terrifying emergency that every horse owner dreads. It's a word that sends chills down your spine, because you know how quickly things can go from bad to worse. Time seems to slow as panic rises in your chest. For a moment you freeze, overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty, but you know you must act. Your horse's life depends on it. With trembling hands, you grab your phone and dial the vet, your voice shaking as you try to explain the emergency. Every second feels like an eternity. Every second counts. Your horse's life hangs in the balance, and your quick response could mean the difference between life and death. The quiet night is shattered by the chaos of a medical crisis. The barn is no longer a place of peace, but a battleground where you fight for your horse's survival. You are now your horse's only lifeline, staying by his side, offering comfort and hope as you wait for help to arrive. The clock is ticking, each minute stretching out painfully as you watch and wait, locked in a race against an invisible, merciless enemy. This is the moment every horse owner dreads, the moment when silence screams danger, and you must find the courage to act. Colic isn't just a stomachache, it's any kind of abdominal pain in a horse, and it's one of the most common emergencies horse owners face. In fact, it can be deadly if not treated quickly and properly. The horse's digestive system is over 100 feet long and not tightly anchored inside the body, making it especially prone to twists, blockages, and dangerous gas buildup. Sometimes colic is mild, but it can escalate to a twisted intestine, cutting off blood supply and killing tissue rapidly. Colic is a symptom, not a disease, and can be triggered by sudden feed changes, dehydration, or even stress. The signs can be subtle at first, refusing food, lying down, or pawing at the ground. Recognizing these early warnings and acting fast is absolutely critical for your horse's survival. Ignoring them is a gamble you simply can't afford to take. Serious colic is like a storm brewing inside your horse, starting small, then building into a life-threatening crisis. A twisted intestine cuts off blood, causing tissue death and releasing toxins. The horse's pain intensifies, heart rate soars, gums change color, and shock sets in. Every minute more damage is done. Early intervention can mean the difference between a simple fix and irreversible disaster. Vets rely on clues, heart rate, gum color, behavior to judge how far the crisis has progressed. The quiet before the storm is the most dangerous. Once the hurricane hits, you're racing the clock. Delay can cost your horse his life. Act at the first sign. Sarah's evening began like any other, with the comforting routine of feeding and checking on her horses as the sun dipped below the horizon. But suddenly, a frantic, unfamiliar noise from the barn shattered the calm, sending a jolt of adrenaline through her. Without hesitation, she sprinted toward the barn, heart pounding, fearing the worst. Inside, she found Dusty, her beloved quarter horse, collapsed on the stable floor. He was drenched in sweat, his sides heaving, and he was hopelessly tangled in his hay net. The sight was terrifying, his eyes wide with pain, his body trembling. Panic threatened to overwhelm her, but Sarah forced herself to focus. She grabbed her phone and called the vet, her voice shaking. The vet answered quickly, calmly instructing her, "Get Dusty up, keep him moving, and immediately remove all food and water from his stall." Every second counted. Dusty barely seemed to recognize her, his gaze distant and unfocused, lost in a haze of pain. Sarah's attempts to comfort him felt futile as he struggled to stand. For what felt like an eternity, Sarah walked Dusty in slow, endless circles under the dim barn lights. Her arms ached, her legs trembled, but she refused to stop. Fear and exhaustion gnawed at her, but she clung to hope, whispering encouragement to her suffering friend. She checked his gums. They were pale, almost white. His heart hammered beneath her hand, his breathing shallow and rapid. These were unmistakable signs of a serious, possibly life-threatening colic. Relief and dread mingled in Sarah's chest as the vet finally arrived, headlights cutting through the darkness. The vet moved quickly, assessing Dusty with practiced hands, his expression grave. The rectal exam was tense and silent, and the vet's face grew more serious. The news was grim. Dusty's condition was critical. Sarah held her breath, her heart aching with worry. She knew that the fate of her best friend, her loyal companion, now hung in the balance. The night stretched on, heavy with uncertainty. The longest night of Sarah's life was far from over. Every second crawled by, each minute feeling like an eternity as Sarah waited, hoping for a sign of improvement. This was the harsh reality of a true colic emergency, an agonizing test of patience, love, and endurance for every horse owner. The outcome was still uncertain, but through it all, Sarah had done everything she could. She stayed by Dusty's side, refusing to give up, determined to see him through the longest night. When I arrive for a colic call, speed is everything. I assess the horse's behavior, check heart rate, and examine the gums, vital signs that reveal pain and shock. A high heart rate or abnormal gum color signals serious trouble. Rectal palpation lets me feel for blockages, twists, or gas, crucial information for deciding next steps. If I find a twisted intestine, I tell the owner this is surgical and time is critical. Survival rates are high if surgery happens fast, but waiting can be fatal. The decision must be made immediately. Every minute lost reduces the chance of recovery. The race against time is real. Quick action can save a life. In severe colic, owners face a brutal choice: rush to surgery or consider euthanasia. If surgery is chosen, the horse is transported urgently, and a hospital team springs into action. IV fluids, anesthesia, and a race to find and fix the problem. Sometimes dead intestine must be removed, and the healthy ends sewn together. A major trauma, but often life-saving. Recovery is long and uncertain, but possible. If the decision is delayed, toxins spread, pain becomes uncontrollable, and euthanasia may be the only humane option. The difference between life and loss is often just a matter of minutes. Owners who act fast give their horses a fighting chance. Hesitation can close the door forever. I've seen both outcomes, relief and heartbreak. The lesson: decisive action is everything. Colic is terrifying, but knowledge brings hope. When you understand what to look for and how to respond, you can turn a moment of panic into a plan of action. Every horse owner faces the fear of colic at some point, but being informed is the first step toward protecting your horse. Horses like Dusty survive because owners act fast and know the signs. Quick thinking and early intervention can make all the difference. Recognizing the subtle changes in your horse's behavior or appetite can be the key to saving their life. You don't need to be a vet, just vigilant and prepared. Simple steps like keeping emergency supplies on hand and knowing your horse's normal routines empower you to act with confidence when every second counts. Learn your horse's normal habits and spot subtle changes early. Keep a journal of their eating, drinking, and behavior patterns. The smallest difference, a missed meal, a change in energy, or restlessness, can be an early warning sign. Have your vet's number ready, a transport plan, and a first aid kit. Preparation means you won't waste precious minutes searching for supplies or contact information when your horse needs you most. Preparation turns panic into purpose. When you know what to do, you can stay calm and focused, helping your horse through a crisis instead of feeling helpless. Know what to tell your vet and what to do while you wait. Write down your horse's symptoms, vital signs, and any changes you've noticed. This information helps your vet make the best decisions for your horse's care. Don't live in fear, be ready. Confidence comes from preparation, and your horse will sense your calm, steady presence in a stressful moment. Your horse depends on you to be his voice. He can't tell you what's wrong, so your attention and care are his best defense. Learn the signs, act fast, and you can be the hero your horse needs. Your quick response could mean the difference between a full recovery and a tragic outcome. Urgent colic checklist: not eating, depression, looking at flank, pawing, rolling, sweating, high heart rate, gum color changes, little or no manure. These are the red flags every horse owner must know. If you see these, call your vet immediately. Don't wait. Your knowledge and quick action could save your horse's life.